Formula One is back this weekend for the first time in 2025. It is Rawkeek. It is race week in Formula One. The Australian Grand Prix gets us kicked off for the 2025 season. A season that is very, very highly anticipated. It's going to be a very competitive and exciting one throughout. We all hope we will see what happens at the Australian Grand Prix. But let's have a look back to the past now. Let's have a look to the winners, the most successful drivers in the history of the Australian Grand Prix. The Australian Grand Prix has been on the Formula One race calendar ever since 1986, first being held at Adelaide between 86 and 95, and ever since 1996 we have been going to the incredible Albert Park Street circuit, where of course it went under a revision for a new layout in 2022. But which drivers have won the most over the years? Which have been the most successful drivers in the history of this event? Now, before any of the anoraks or statisticians do get on me for this, this is only during the Formula One World Championship era of the race. Now, the Australian Grand Prix was a non-championship Formula One event ever since all the way back to the 1930s, if not even before that. There are some very successful local drivers from Australia on that list, but they don't count for this. It only counts from 1986 onwards. So I will very quickly read out the guys who have won multiple races here during the F1 era. Gerhard Berger, Ayrton Senna, Damon Hill, David Coulthard, Kimi Raikkonen, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg all won twice at the Australian Grand Prix during their career. Hamilton can of course extend that to 3 wins and go further up this list if he manages to do that. Alain Prost has won the Australian Grand Prix 3 times, but only twice during the Formula One World Championship era. He won in 86 when he won his second World Championship in a row, 1988, but he also won in 1982 as well, but that 82 victory does not count for that list, so he does slot to the 2-time winner category. But there are some 3-time winners, and the first of these is Sebastian Vettel. Vettel won here in 2011 driving for Red Bull Racing, and also back-to-back for Ferrari during his first 2 seasons with the Scuderia in 2017 and 2018, benefiting from some very well-timed pit stops during safety car periods, I think for both of those races in 17 and 18 actually, but my memory is not the best of those because it was very, very early in the morning when that was on, and it's going to be on at 4 o'clock in the morning this year for us here in the UK, will the Australian Grand Prix. But of course, I'm not complaining. That is very much the time that a lot of Aussie viewers have to put up with when most rounds are in Europe or the rest of the world. So I'm not going to complain too much, but I'm just going to put it out there. But I'm also going to put it out there that a very successful driver for the Australian Grand Prix is Jenson Button as well. Albert Park was very much a very good track for him. He won 3 times here. He won for Brawn in 2009 on the season opener. He won in 2010 for McLaren and also 2012 for McLaren as well. 3 victories in 4 seasons. Not bad going at all for the 2009 Formula One World Champion. But who is the most successful driver in the history of the Australian Grand Prix during the Grand Prix Formula One era? You can probably guess it already. It's Michael Schumacher. Schumacher won all 4 of his Australian Grand Prix driving for Ferrari, doing so in 2000, 2001, 2002 and in 2004. I believe those victories in 2001 and 2002 as well were with older cars. Ferrari used to start the season sometimes with their previous year's car, something that you'd never get away with nowadays, but were of course the team in Formula One to beat during that time. 2002 he very much escaped the chaos at the start, something that I will mention in my Australian best moments video as well here on the F1chronicle.com. But yeah, for now Michael Schumacher remains as the most successful driver in the history of the Australian Grand Prix. He's tied on 4 victories with Lex Davison, who also won 4 times but during the non-championship era of the Australian Grand Prix. He won in 1954, 57, 58 and 61. So shout out to him. I'm also going to shout out Roberto Moreno as well. Now he won the Australian Grand Prix 3 times, all during the non-championship era, 81, 83 and 84. But of course a very accomplished Formula One driver as well later on in his career. So it's an interesting stat there, of course. And of course the great Sir Jack Brown as well won the Australian Grand Prix 3 times, again all during the non-championship era. Jack's time in Formula One was way before it became a actual Formula One championship event. So yeah, there you go guys, some very successful drivers over the years. Very unpredictable races, the Australian Grand Prix. No driver has really truly dominated it. Even a driver who has won, I think he's got 8 pole positions in Australia, has Sir Lewis Hamilton, but he's only won twice and he's not won now for 10 years. But can he break that duck? We'll have to see. Who's your pick for the winner this season, guys? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, keep it tuned here to the F1Chronicle.com to see much more content on the world of Formula 1 just like this. Comment, subscribe as always, guys. Have a great week. Really hope we have a great Australian Grand Prix because I'll be getting up early to watch it live. And I'll see you soon for some reaction to that. Have a great day, guys. See you very soon.